You weren't always like this. There was a time when you gave endlessly, when your heart stayed open even after it got hurt. You were the one who checked in, who remembered the little details, who felt other people's emotions before they even spoke them out loud. You cared deeply, sometimes too deeply. And then something changed, not suddenly, not dramatically, but quietly. One disappointment stacked on top of another until the weight became too much. And now you're different, harder to reach. Quieter, more guarded. This is what happens when an empath finally crosses the line from self-sacrifice to self-preservation. Let's talk about the signs. The first sign is that you stop explaining yourself. There was a time when you would over-explain your feelings, hoping that if you found the right words, people would finally understand you. You sent long messages, stayed up late talking things through, replayed conversations in your head, but now you don't do that anymore. Silence feels lighter than trying to be understood by people who never really listened. When someone asks what's wrong, you say nothing, not because nothing hurts, but because you're tired of translating your pain for people who only care when it's convenient. The second sign is that you pull your energy back. Your phone doesn't control you anymore. You don't rush to reply. You don't chase conversations. You've noticed that when you stop initiating, most connections fade on their own, and instead of panicking, you observe. You realize how many relationships survived only because of your effort. That realization hurts, but it also wakes you up. Another sign is that you've learned how to stay on the surface. You can laugh, joke, and be present without revealing anything real. You've mastered small talk and polite smiles. People think they know you, but they only know the version that feels safe to show. Your inner world is protected now because you learned the hard way that vulnerability in the wrong hands becomes a weapon. You also stop feeling guilty for choosing yourself. This is a big one. You used to feel bad for resting, for saying no, for setting boundaries. You were taught that love meant self-abandonment, but now you see things clearly. You see how often your kindness was taken for granted. You see how people benefited from your exhaustion, and when someone calls you selfish for protecting your peace, it doesn't break you anymore. You recognize it for what it is. Another sign is that you no longer try to fix people. You used to believe in potential more than reality. You stayed, supported, and sacrificed, thinking love would be enough to change them. But you learned that you can't heal someone who refuses to heal themselves. Now you can care without carrying. You can empathize without drowning. Their journey is theirs, not yours. Your energy becomes selective. You don't give everyone access anymore. You notice who only shows up when they need something, who dumps their problems on you without asking if you're okay, and you step back, not angrily, not dramatically, just quietly. Your energy is reserved for those who respect it. You also come to terms with a painful truth: many relationships were one-sided. You were the glue, the effort, the consistency. When you stop doing those things, people disappear, and instead of blaming yourself, you finally stop chasing. You choose loneliness over fake connection. You'd rather be alone than feel alone in a room full of people. Your tolerance for shallow bonds drops to zero. Silence feels more peaceful than pretending. You build real boundaries. Not walls meant to punish others, but walls meant to protect you. Your sensitivity didn't disappear. It matured. You still care, just not at your own expense. You stop seeking closure. You realize not everyone will explain themselves or apologize, and waiting for answers only keeps you stuck. So you create your own closure by walking away. Your empathy now has limits. You give from overflow, not from emptiness. And finally, you accept being misunderstood. People who benefited from the old you don't like the new you, and that's okay. You didn't change to be liked. You changed to survive. Here's the truth: kind people don't become guarded for no reason. They become guarded after giving too much to people who gave too little. If this hit home, drop a comment and tell me which part resonated the most. And remember, protecting your peace isn't selfish, it's necessary.